Alrighty, we are on again live for another Lunch and Learn series with Flip about short-term rentals. We are on my YouTube channel and then also the Phoenix RIA group. So anyway, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat box. And if you like anything you see and you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe, follow, all the fun buttons that are up there that you should follow. All right, Flip, let's jump right in. What do you got for us today?
Well, for everyone watching or gonna watch this, we didn't plan this. I don't think. I noticed we got the same color shirts. Anywho, good to see you again, Chris. Today we're going to talk about design and decor. And I know that's something, as a fix and flipper, I've done hundreds of those over the years, both exterior, interior, and we're going to dive deeper into, the design and decor of short-term rentals here today.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, and I mean, and tell me if you use a designer. Like when I do my fix and flips, I literally go in the neighborhood and I get the theme of the ones that have sold in like the last 90 days. And I'm like, all right, that's what it looks like. I'll just copy that. So I haven't ever actually hired a designer. I just kind of copy and, follow.
Copy and paste. Yeah, I've done it both ways, Chris. I know when I first got started, back in the day flipping, I would over renovate and overspend and do all that. So budget really matters, especially when you're getting started. So we'll go over to talk about budgeting. But again, some of the things that we lay out in our course is how do you enhance your short-term rentals, because you're competing against three other neighbors that have short-term rentals. So what's going to make yours stick out from Bob's down the road? So we talk about that. And again, I've used designers on some of the bigger projects, some of the smaller projects. It just really, how much time do you have to do this, and what you're willing to put in to learn how to do it effectively and efficiently.
Yeah, so I mean, you've done enough of these. Do you still just do it yourself, or do you still bring in how?
Just depending on the scope and the size of the project. Obviously, the one I'm sitting in now is almost 5,000 square feet. So I use two different designers to help me on this. And one was extremely expensive. And then the second guy that finished it up, he was, we worked hard on, he did some, even for luxury, we did some secondhand, he did some secondhand shopping. I mean, there's a lot of tips and tricks, right? Like, even our plates and silverware he picked up at the dollar store, and you would never know.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So let's dive a little deeper. What are there any kind of rules of thumb that they should use or anything like that? Or
yeah, I mean, so aesthetics matter, right? So you don't want to walk into the property and see something that's just totally mismatched and all over the place. So you want to keep it aesthetically pleasing. And there's two different types of projects. One that you buy and it's already been completely renovated from the inside, and then you just decor it out. And the other way is where you rehab the projects, which we've done in the past with our style, with all the color schemes and so forth. So there's two different ways to skin it. It depends if you're buying it and renovating it and then putting in the interior design staging stuff, or you're just putting it in the interior design stuff. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so obviously there's the knickknacks, there's the stuff that goes in the bathroom, the pictures, all that. Where do you start with like the furniture, right? Like, do you go to you're not going to go to like Restoration Hardware or something like that and just spend $10,000 for a bed. Where do you go like your the basic furniture that you have in your Airbnb?
So again, you could look at those places and just get conceptual ideas, style ideas, what you want it to look like. We shop at, we do a lot through Amazon. We do a lot through for example, I have some people in town here that, just the basics like mattresses. Where do you shop on mattresses? Like we could spend $1,500 on a mattress, or you could go to someone who wholesales them for us at $300. So, as you know, there's a lot of wholesale people out there. So we're not going to pay retail on any of our stuff that we put in. We're not going to Restoration Hardware. We're buying stuff at deep discounts that looks great, it's functional, and it provides comfort for the guests.
Yeah, I feel like those. I mean, there's definitely the Furniture Warehouse in Phoenix. Brooklyn Bedding was actually owned. What used to be R&S Mattress, and now it's Brooklyn Bedding, and they're like a national company, and they got bought out. But I used to get mattresses super cheap. They used to actually have a scratch and dent mattress section in their warehouse in Glendale. It's like, it would go out to a house, and then for some reason it never got used, and they returned it for some reason. It wasn't the right size. It was a California king. They needed to be another king. Anyway, they'd never put it back on the showroom. They just put it in the scratch and dent section, right?
Love it. Yeah, I go to Potato Barn. It's in Mesa, where they have a section of deep discounted coffee tables, bar tops. So I'm not paying, what's on the front showroom. I'm buying stuff at the deeper discounts because again, it's not where you're living in there, everything. And with the scratch and dents, I've done those on my fix and flips before, Chris. People don't notice that stuff, and you save hundreds of dollars by going out.
But if you were doing a 5-bedroom house, and it's all, Airbnb, by the way, guys, is just about the bed count. The higher bed count you get, the better off you are. Like if you have your choice to buy for the same price, a 5.3 or a 4.2, you want the 5.3 for sure.
100%. Yep. Yep. And then we do have air mattresses also that we throw in there. So we just fit more folks that, are coming to stay, and they spread the cost out. So definitely that's a good way to roll. And again, the question is, do you hire interior designer guys, or do you do it on your own, DIY, right? So I would start with something small, and then there's all kind of software out there where you could literally go in and design a room to get an idea of how, just to practice up on your design skills. So I got a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Mesa, and we had a budget, and we hit it pretty well. But we were going to even there's a store out in Mesa which used to be a model. Well, they would put the furniture in model homes, and then they have the store where you go buy the model home furniture. So we go and see, we were looking for a couch, a table, and we kept shopping there just to get good low prices.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you just get the basics in there, right? And you get your beds in there, you get your couches, all that kind of stuff for your furniture store. And then you go and you wander down to like Home Goods for all the decor, right? Or something similar to that.
Yes. Yeah. And Home Goods, there's a lot of different home stores out there. And then Goodwill. I had an interior designer that taught me that trick, where she was shopping at Goodwill for some little knickknacks and stuff like that, man, and saved me quite a bit of money. I just gave her $1,000, and she ran and she helped me get a lot of the little knickknacks. So I mean, you can't pay retail, guys, otherwise you're throwing money out the window, and no one knows.
Yeah.
No one knows if you're
that little pony on the corner of the coffee table. No one knows that came from Home Goods or Goodwill or
exactly. Just make sure on Goodwill you take the little stickers off, because they got those stickers on there. And yeah, it saves you a heck of a lot of money, because that's the other thing we talk about in our courses. You got to come up with a budget for your property. So it includes all the beds, the couches, all the silverware, all the plates. So little things start adding up. So you're not going to want to go spend $3,000-4,000 on a couch that you could get for maybe, I've got some couches for $800. I get my mattresses with box springs now, king for 350, 300. So, everything adds up. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're shopping at the right spots.
Yeah, Flip has a pro account at the 99-cent store for all his.
We've used that. We've used the 99-cent store too. Yes, sir. Yep.
He's got the spaghetti spatula coming from the 99, the couple Flip spatulas coming from the 99-cent store.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so it's all about being cost effective, guys, and it's going to make you more money at the end of the day. And again, like Chris had mentioned earlier, if you guys hadn't got on, so design and trends are very important. So I remember back in the day, we were using a lot of the browns on the exterior, Chris, and painting it that way. So designs and trends change over time. So go through the neighborhood, pick out some of the homes you see that are just sold and look at what they're doing in their staging and so forth. I started, I don't know about you, but I started later in my career when I was doing my fix and flips, staging them and paying a stager to come in because, it gives it more warmth and depth versus just doing a fix and flip. Just depends on the scenario, but we did play around with staging for a long time, and I believe it helped our sales.
Well, yeah, if you think it like for you fix and flippers out there, if you figure like you got a $500,000 house, it's probably going to cost you $3,000 to stage it ish. Is if it's not too much, if it's not too big of a spot. But honestly, that $3,000 in staging, if someone comes in and your first week on the market, it's like, wow, right?
Yep.
You get that emotion, that buyer gets emotional, sees it, they can see their furniture in it. And it's just like new home sales, right? People walk into the new homes and they are decored out to the nines, right? They got it all. And
that's another point. Make your home smell good because again, yes, I was using the Weston air fresheners I picked up on Amazon. So whatever it is, make it smell good, make it feel, because people want to walk in and be warmed up, and that's important. So what else did you have a question, Chris, or
what? Like so on your so also on decor, like how many games, like I mean we're talking about furniture and all that stuff, but you got to leave room for I mean, you got to have something, right? You got to have the
pool. Oh yeah, entertainment. I mean, no matter how much size of your place, you got to have an area. So I have one in Chandler, for example, Chris, that we have a garage. It's a 2-car garage there. We converted that to a usable space. So we converted that to a game room. We have a Pac-Man in there. We have a foosball. We have a workout room in there because they got a big driveway, so they don't need the garage. So it's
so I'm gonna share this with everybody. I have an Airbnb that was an Airbnb for a long time, and it was just it was an average house. I bought it. I bought it for 750 acre property, like 4,000 square feet, but it was Tuscan. It was like,
all right, 2004, 2006. Yeah.
It's not. It was nice. It wasn't new and modern, but it was nice, right. So I grabbed the furniture, I put it up there on Airbnb, and I was doing all right. But I had a house a mile away that was completely remodeled, and I can tell you my completely remodeled house was getting 1,000 to 1,200 a night, right? And my Tuscan, similar square footage, both had brand new pools, both had all the games outside, acre lots, had it all, right? My Tuscan was lucky to get 500 to 600. So when you're talking now to redo a house like this, we're talking 80 grand probably. And I get pretty good discounts, and I shop when I'm rehabbing.
Yep.
But you're talking, let's just say the average rental is 4 nights. My minimums on these big houses are 4-night minimums, and you're talking 500 a night. So you're talking 16. So 500 a night times 4 is 2,000 times 4 weeks is 8,000. Literally, you get paid back in 1 year to do a complete gut remodel on your house.
Yes. Yep. And again, the reality is of it, guys, is you got to stand above and beyond what the neighbor's doing. So you could do that one like Chris mentioned, right? You were doing the Tuscan style, but apples to apples. I mean, look at the comparison and the income coming through the door. Because I mean, where would you rather stay, Chris? Would you
No,
rather?
I agree 100%, but I kind of thought it wouldn't be. I didn't think it would be 50%. I didn't think I'd be that.
Yeah, that's wild.
So I mean, I was doing the dynamic pricing, but I just had to be at like that $500 to $600 to keep it consistently booked because you don't want it empty. A week
Yep.
of emptiness is $2,500, $3,000 out the door, right? So, so
With that, real quick, Chris, on your price points, because I know we're still busy, but I've been changing the prices because just like you had mentioned, you don't want to miss, the people. So are you doing your dynamic pricing on a daily, weekly basis when you're not booked?
I'd say a weekly basis. I
Yeah.
kind of leave it out there. I let it do dynamic pricing, and then if I'm not booked 2 months. At 2 months, I start getting aggressive because I feel like people they make their plans. I mean, people used to make their plans 6 months and a year in advance. I think it's shrunk now. I think it's more like 2 to 4 months in advance. But if I get to month 2, I start getting aggressive on the pricing because I like on a 16-person house. Those people aren't making those decisions in 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
So
yeah, and that is part of being in the business. So like you always got to watch where who's coming through and what your future is on the bookings. So definitely, and another thing I wrote down here is staging a property. So we have pop-ups out here in Arizona, and I don't know where everyone's watching this from, but go through other hosts, super hosts, their Airbnbs, and see how they're doing their properties and what they're putting in, and get their tips and tricks. So we have free pop-ups, we call them, where we just show people what we're doing in our properties. And I even go as far as break out the budget with everyone. Hey, I spent 5,000 in this house for this, and this.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I've never done a budget. I just kind of winged it. I was always doing good on my Airbnbs because I bought them right. I had cheap financing on them. I'm actually so that one that is Tuscan. I was just doing average, and so the neighbor next door who was building a house knocked on my door and said, "Hey, like my house is building next door. I'd like to live right here so I could just walk next door, right?" So I actually have had it as a and they were giving me, I mean, at 5,600 a night on 20 nights, I was getting like 10 grand. She ended up paying me 7 grand, but then I don't have any cleanings. I don't have any utilities.
Yes.
I was like, I'll just take the 7 grand.
I would do the same. And it's beautiful because, again, there's opportunities that always come up. Like, for example, like you just mentioned, Chris, sometimes the neighbor in the community, they had a remodel, they had a flood, and they need somewhere to stay for 3 months. Oh, and then you work with them.
Yeah. So I'm actually on May 15th, it becomes vacant, and I'm going back to an Airbnb, but so theming is a huge part of Airbnb, and I'm going with the wellness thing. I'm putting in the cold plunge. I'm putting in the sauna. It already has the heated pool. It already has the jacuzzi. I'm going to have a full weight room. So like temperature controlled weight room, not just a weight room in the garage. It's going to have a weight room with all the mirrors, and I'm going to try to theme it with a wellness theme and see how it does.
Excellent. What put that thought in your brain to make the theme on it?
I was just thinking about it, and there's certain, like, so the red room that I go on there with Luke Rodvold, like he's up in Prescott, so he's got a bunch of themes, and I have such a big space because it's on an acre, and I was just like, and it's just stuff I like to do, like I like to go in the sauna. I like to do the cold plunge. And I was just like, hey, like there's going to be people that are shopping like me and they see my place with, a full weight room with all the mirrors
Absolutely.
and a cold plunge and a sauna. And, the average person would stay there too. But the person that's going to be like the wellness guy and goes, well, hey, there's like an industrial style bike there. There's an industrial style treadmill there. There's like, 5 pounds to 50 pounds of dumbbells. There's the pull down machine. Like, I think some people are going to be like, yeah, I'd rather just stay on that one. Cause now I like to go do my gym every day. I'm not going to have a membership out there, but this has what I need right here.
Beautiful. So it's a niche market. You're capturing people that are interested in the wellness and health, and that's a big thing right now. So yeah,
like Scottsdale, right? So
oh yeah, everyone wants to stay fit out there. So plus the benefit when it's not booked, you get to use it.
Yeah, totally. So another small thing that I'm adding is, I'm only in town for 10 to 12 days. I'm adding a little 600, 700 square foot guest house. Ironically, I'm only in town Monday through Thursday, and my bookings are more Thursday through Monday. So
there you go.
I can slide into my little guest house, stay there. Then, when people come, I'll lock the door and leave. And, but I'll have access to the pool, the spa, the cold plunge, the sauna.
I'll be knocking on your door. Yes, that sounds like a good, few days just to rejuvenate and stay there.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. I remember I'm like, I'll refer a contractor. You're like, I got it. I'm doing it my own. So you do your own contracting and subcontracting on that?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So how long is that project going to take you? Have you pinpointed your time frame on putting that wellness one together?
Well, I'm going to do the full gut remodel. So as I'm doing that, I'm going to go buy the 2-person barrel sauna. So it's like a good size sauna. That's going in the garage. The cold plunge is going in the garage. It's a 3-car garage. So those are going to take up 2 of the bays. I'm building a little guest house, and that's going to house the weight room, and I'll just have a mini split system in there. So it'll be like a 15 by 20 room with the mirrors all the way across and the rubber floors and.
And that's not for a novice, because I know you've been working in the industry for 20 plus years. And so that's where we come in and say, hey, we'll help take your vision, put it on paper, because a lot of people have it or they don't, and you help them get started and to move it along when they're just beginning in the short-term rental business.
Yeah.
Because there are a ton of moving parts, as you know, in a fix and flip and a reno, and then also with the decor, that adds another element of work in the project. But again, what I love about this business, Chris, is with doing all the fix and flips we did back in the day, you make good money, but you got to get rid of them. So with these, you just hold on to them, and you may have 4 that you sell and you buy something bigger. So it's always evolving.
Yeah, for sure. So what else? Do you got anything else that we need to jump on?
I would say, Pinterest is very, very cool out there for folks to check into that, because they have a lot of inspiration. They have a lot of, new things happening in the industry. So there's a lot of ideas that come from Pinterest. SketchUp is great for detail. You could do some 3D models and so forth on SketchUp. And then there's another one called Home Styler, and that allows you you could lay out the rooms and designs and stuff. So there's a lot of visual tools that you could utilize prior to even starting your project, or if you just want to get practice.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, guys, I'll be watching the podcast or for the next probably day. So if you have any questions, you can put them below. Or if you have any questions about just the short-term rental school, you can reach out to Flip on his Instagram right there. and reach out to him, and he can give you more details on, because he does a short-term rental coaching program. So,
yep. And within that program, guys, we created all the modules. So we break it down from A to Z on how to first get into it. Like we talked about acquisition till the decor. And then next week, we're going to finalize talking with Chris and his group on taxes, implications, laws, all the legal stuff that you guys have to be aware of.
yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on, Flip. I'll see you next
Absolutely,
week.
brother. All right. Have a good day, Chris.
You too.